of my sovereign lord, King Stefan XI, I, Prince Florizel of Bohemia, have the honor to invest you with the Order of Extraordinary Merit, First Class, and the Bronze Cross of Barbarossa, for services rendered to the state of Bohemia in and beyond the call of duty. Sir, my king and country, thank you. Any more of the vain fool's Mataschik?
The investiture is over, Your Highness.
Oh, thank God for that. My arm is weary, and my hand positively dripping from the wearisome attentions of these sycophants.
The Master of the Horse, Colonel Geraldine, has arrived, Your Highness.
Oh, good. Have him come in. And Mataschik,
Your Highness.
You may withdraw.
His Highness will see you now.
Your Highness.
My dear Geraldine, enter, enter. Delighted to see you, my friend. What a tiring evening. Tell me, what do you imagine those idiots make of me, Geraldine?
A prince whose manners are as impeccable as his fortune is inexhaustible and his curiosity insatiable.
I could not have put it more succinctly myself. You have a rare gift for the apposite phrase, Geraldine. You would fare exceedingly well in my country.
You flatter me, Your Highness. My personal opinion of my...
Returning with regret to the subject of my own person, Geraldine, tell me, what would those fools say if they knew of our louche tastes?
Your Highness?
I refer to our taste for sallying forth incognito into London's murkier byways to satisfy our curiosity.
I dare say they'd envy your daring, Your Highness.
Really? Ah, and whom does the admirable Master of the Horse seek to represent this evening?
Major Arthur Hammersmith, Your Highness, a former military person in reduced circumstances, now somewhat vaguely connected with the civil service.
Arthur Hammersmith. Arthur... I think I would prefer Alfred. It has a more common ring to it.
Then Alfred it shall be.
Admirable. One grows so weary of London, does one not?
Your Highness is in low humor tonight.
Alas, my friend, I am bored to distraction. The season of the year is most unsuitable to those sports in which I excel all competitors, and there is not one laughable play to be seen in any of the London theatres. Adventure of the kind you and I favor has to be sought out with diligence, does it not? And diligence we shall apply, my dear Geraldine.
And what is Your Highness selected to be tonight?
To blend with your modestly conceived Major Arthur or Alfred Hammersmith. Tonight I fancy nothing of a spectacular nature, my friend. Just plain Mr. Goodley. Theophilus Goodley. A somewhat ingenuous, old academic from a minor university abroad in London with an unaccountable thirst for the unusual experience. Yes, I think I am decided. Mr. T. Goodley it is. Capital. Geraldine, give me a mere 10 minutes. I have a strange feeling that tonight our diligence may be rewarded.
Not very promising.
Yes, my friend, everywhere I look, the lees of London, the commonplace of this respectability. Bored with this affair already.
Look!
Ladies and gentlemen, pray do not let me cause even a momentary disturbance to your pleasure. I come with gifts. To one and all I offer cream tarts. Cream tarts for all, a veritable abundance of them. Sir, will you honour an entire stranger? I can speak for the quality of the pastry, having consumed no fewer than 2,003 myself since 5 o'clock.
I am in the habit, sir, of looking not so much at the nature of the gift as to the spirit in which it is proffered.
Ah, the spirit, sir, is one of mockery.
Ah, and whom do you propose to mock?
Well, I've not come here to expound my philosophy, sir, but to distribute these gifts. But since I include myself in the ridicule of the transaction, I trust you will consider honour satisfied.
It is satisfied.
Then, if you will not condescend, sir, you can strainly greet my 28th cream tart. And I own to growing rather weary of the exercise.
I will rescue you from your dilemma, but upon one condition. If my friend and I consume your patisserie, for which neither of us can possibly have any natural inclination, we shall expect a favour by return.
Which is?
That you, sir, upon the consumption of the final patisserie, join us for supper.
You honour a stranger.
I estimate we shall not be strangers long.
Oh, that's nice.
Delicious.
I perceive that you are a connoisseur, sir.
I do not deny it.
Then, since I am tonight closing a career of unparalleled folly by my most conspicuously silly action, I wish to behave handsomely to all who give me countenance. Gentlemen, you shall wait no longer for your supper. Olé! And once again, olé! And again. Olé! Yes, I like you, Mr. Goodley. You inspire me with a desire to, confess. Nor have I the least objection to your friend, the Major, who I take to be a nobleman in masquerade. At least I'm sure he's no mere soldier.
The fish is to your liking, sir?
Oh, it's impeccable, impeccable. It seems that despite my prodigious consumption of cream tarts, my appetite has not been entirely ruined. Which is more than could be said for my person.
Begin your story by introducing yourself, sir.
Ah, well, my name, which in the present circumstances is of no account, is Morris. James Morris. As I received a very good education, I can play the violin passing well, also the flute and the French horn. As I know enough of whist to lose an annual £200 playing that scientific game. Yes, I've squandered money as liberally in Paris as I have in London. And I've had every sort of adventure, including a duel in which I defended the honor of my dog. Oh, it's a poodle. In short, gentlemen, I am a person not entirely devoid of manly accomplishment.
Then, how came you to be ruined?
Oh, bear with me, my dear sir, bear with me. 2 months ago, I met a lady. Oh, suited most exactly to my taste, both in mind and, body. Yes, I'd come at last upon my fate, gentlemen. I was deeply in love.
Cucumber salad?
Oh, no. But imagine my anguish, gentlemen, when I came to reckon up what remained of my once substantial capital. £400. Well, I ask you fairly, gentlemen, can a man who respects life's higher values fall in love on a mere 400? Well, I concluded, certainly not. So I proposed to leave my enchantress. And, slightly accelerating my usual rate of expenditure, I came this morning to my last £160, which I divided into 2 equal parts. £80 of which I have reserved for a special purpose,
And the other
of
80?
which you may shortly become acquainted.
What about the other 80?
You've already observed what happened to some of it, Hammersmith.
Oh, cream tarts.
Dissipated, my dear sir, dissipated. I was determined to bring a foolish career to an apt conclusion.
Why then, how odd that the three of us in so similar a condition should have met by accident in a wilderness like London.
Devil, are you then too, ruined?
Oh, beyond repair, sir, beyond repair. But since we are not yet precisely in the same straits as yourself, sir, let me put an end to the disparity at once. Let your Heroic action be my example. Cognac?
What exquisite nobility. But like me, you should have kept £80.
Oh, why?
Well, without them, there is no admission.
No admission. I'm sure my friend Hammersmith's pocketbook remains tolerably well lined.
You are, both of you, well and truly ruined. Now, you wouldn't deceive me.
I've already answered that question in the affirmative, sir.
And like me, you've had enough of life.
Oh, quite enough.
You are, both of you, determined to die?
Indubitably, sir. Indubitably.
You're willing to seek out death and beard him where he lies hiding?
I can imagine no more desirable enterprise.
Then you are the men for me. Oh, I am but a unit in an army. I am of death's familiar, sir. I know his private door. You can still muster £80 each. Then follow me, gentlemen. You too shall become members.
Members?
Of the Suicide Club. There is still time, gentlemen, to reflect and make good your escape.
I am not a man to go back on my word.
You are standing at the crossroads of life and death.
So you have led us to believe, Mr. Morris. Lead on.
Your coolness encourages me to proceed.
Then do so, sir, do so.
Now you must follow my instructions most carefully. Knock at that entrance. You will gain admission by speaking 3 words. Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. After that, do not register surprise, whatever happens.
And you?
I shall enter the establishment by a concealed back entrance. Now, trust me.
Yes, but...
No more buts, Hammersmith. This young gentleman has deserved our trust. Come.
Rien never plus. 5 rue Jean-Pierre.
Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, indeed. We've been decoyed to a common gaming club.
So it would appear.
Let us take our leave at once, Your Highness.
Tell me, my friend, you really believe our young man of the cream tarts to be an ordinary tout?
Hardly, but
I have a
still.
premonition, Geraldine, that we are only at the very beginning of a possibly lethal adventure. Have we not been promised a suicide club?
Indeed, but...
I propose to wait and see what entertainment has been vouchsafed for us.
So that we may have fallen among rogues and murderers.
Yes, I do believe we have.
Monsieur.
Let me beseech Your Highness to take advantage of this God-given opportunity to retire. If some irreparable disaster should overtake Your
What is
Highness...
the use of this confabulation, Geraldine? Am I to understand that the master of the horse is afraid?
My fears are not confined to my own person. I feel myself justified in pushing a little further than usual the liberty which Your Highness is so condescending as to allow me in private.
So I had supposed, but was unwilling to remind you of the difference now, Station.
Look.
Rien never plus, monsieur.
Come.
Ici, moi, on fait.
Wait here, please. You'll be dealt with presently.
By whom?
The President, of course.
Madame, we would appreciate a brief explanation of these somewhat bizarre negotiations.
I am not at liberty to speak with you. You ventured here at your own request, I believe. Wait.
Oh, what sort of a den is this?
That is what we have come to see.
Oh, for God's sake, Your Highness.
Good evening, gentlemen. I am told you wish to speak with me.
Yes, indeed.
Well, sir?
We are of the understanding that... Kindly come down, sir, so that we may hold converse in a civilized manner.
Indeed.
We have the desire, sir, to join the Suicide Club.
You are in error. This is a private gambling club. Good night, sir.
Call your establishment what you will, sir. You have company up there, and we insist on joining it. Is that clear?
Upon my soul, I can make allowances for gentlemen who get merry on their liquor. But let there be an end to this. Kindly leave these premises.
I have a quiet disposition, sir. Either you will oblige me in this matter, or you will regret it.
I see you are a man of no mean resolution, sir. What of your friend?
Like me, he is cured of the will to live. He was cashiered this day for cheating at cards.
You too have a reason for desiring death, sir?
Unadulterated laziness, sir. Also, I have no more money, which brings idleness to the point of acuteness. Do you not agree?
You are both prepared to swear the oath and sign the articles of admission.
I am, sir, ready and willing.
I like you. So be it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now there remains only the small matter of 80 guineas, and you will be one of us. Through this door. Excuse me, gentlemen, until later.
Well, forward. We're not at the gates of hell, Geraldine. Good heavens.
Only for telling a man he was wrong.
Monstrous. It is the vulgarity that takes one's breath away. Flamingos and Dante Gabriel Rossetti.
For my own part, I require nothing more than a bandage for my eyes and cotton for my ears.
I would never have joined, my dear fellow, if I had not been induced to accept the theories of that wretched Mr. Darwin. I cannot bear the idea of being descended from an ape.
Ah, gentlemen, allow me to introduce our oldest member, Sir Montague Malthus.
Good evening.
Mr. Goodley and Major Hammersmith.
Ah, newcomers. Welcome. And how do you like our little club?
It does seem to me there is much petty disturbance among your members, sir. If a man has made up his mind to kill himself, I say let him do it like a gentleman.
May one ask, Sir Montague, what has caused you to join this establishment?
Well, my own case is peculiar. I first became acquainted with these premises 6 months ago. I am not, properly speaking, a suicide at all, but am, as it were, an honorary member, and my luck so far has been extraordinary.
Could you be more explicit?
An ordinary member returns every Friday evening until it is his turn. The president, who is probably the most corrupt rogue in all Christendom, runs the place most punctiliously.
The president, is he like yourself, a permanency?
Not quite in the same sense. He pays no dues, he never plays. I, however, must play. And it will come to be my turn. Meanwhile, what intoxication! My dear sirs, I have tried every excess, every dissipation the world can offer. And I declare that there is not one vice that is not grossly overrated. There is only one strong, lasting passion: fear. Envy me, gentlemen, for I drink that passion to its very dregs. I am, you see, a coward. There. It is about to begin. The horror is about to start again. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I say, sir, may I?
Table, gentlemen. To the table.
Game of cards?
The help of your arm.
It is obligatory to play.
My dear sir, that is how we select the victim.
Victim?
And not only the victim, but the one who is to be death's high priest for the occasion. He who draws the ace of spades achieves the aim of his membership, death. He who draws the ace of clubs becomes executor of the club's primary rule.
You mean you kill one another?
Precisely.
Who is the woman? Another prospective suicide?
Nobody knows for certain. She chooses not to address us personally.
She does not play.
Never.
Let me assist you, sir.
I cannot even tell an ace from a two across the table without these. I want to watch their faces.
Even now, we could make good our escape.
Though the stakes appear to be relatively high, Hammersmith, let me see you play like a gentleman.
Remember, the ace of spades for the victim, the ace of clubs for the executioner.
Attention, gentlemen. We begin.
The execution.
The deal is coming around again, another chance.
Attention, gentlemen. Sir Montague, if you please.
It would appear the venerable member has trifled with his terror once too often.
You realize that you've been privileged to buy your life.
I shall remember your kindness as long as I live.
I'm sure you will, dear boy.
How much further?
Not far. Let me take your hand, Sir Montague.
I am not behaving honorably, not honorably at all.
It's not only a woman's privilege to change her mind, Sir Montague.
'Tis not death itself, you understand, that holds the terror for me, but
Yes, dear boy.
the means to the end and the unknown method of disposal.
The President has reassured you on that account.
You have been very understanding and merciful. I've been a foolish old man. From tomorrow onwards, I shall know how to value my life. My precious life.
Ah, we have arrived. Now, you see that alley? Walk to the end of it, then go up the steps, and there someone will take charge of you.
Let me assist you, Sir Montague.
I shall be conveyed to safety. I have your word.
Your stick, dear boy.
Be assured you will find safety.
and everlasting peace.
No! I was promised! I've changed my mind! I was promised safe passage! I've changed my mind!
Two red wounds. The doctor will not be pleased.
Beggars cannot be choosers, sir. The doctor's fee, if you please.
He's old, a very old man.
He is in possession of all the requisite organs. The fee.
Thank you.
Bodies have to be paid for. The good doctor knows that only too well.
For disposing of your corpses, it's you should be paying us.
Your opinions are of not the slightest concern to me. Give the good doctor my fondest regards, and tell him that if our arrangements no longer suit him, he's at liberty to take his trade elsewhere. And now be off with you, before the police choose to join this gratuitous debating society.
Good night.
Night, my lady.
A good night's work.
No.
Why?
Fate dealt maliciously. Malthus was harmless. It's our mad young friend Morris who should have won the ace of spades.
He can win it another night, should fate so choose. Besides, he introduced two new friends into our midst.
It's his two friends that render me uneasy. I think I can recognize a prospective suicide when I see one. And those two gentlemen are not tired of life.
They signed and paid.
Yes, they swore the oath, too. But I'm not a man to be fooled by trumpery disguises, my dear. It's my belief that Morris has, albeit unwittingly, introduced two spies into our midst.
Police spies?
I don't know. But we cannot afford to remain in doubt over the matter, can we?
Shall I investigate, Mr. Goodley?
You find him to your taste?
That remains to be seen.
Well, I'm not sure that Mr. Goodley can be left to your tender negotiations, my dear. If you fail...
If I fail, you can make a gift of their cadavers to your good friend, the doctor.
No.
No?
No.
No further information has reached us about the mysterious disappearance of Sir Montague Malthus, who left his house in Chester Square last Friday evening, according to his servants, to visit friends, and who has not been seen since. Foul play cannot be ruled out. The police appear to be as puzzled by this case as by other recent instances of well-known men of means vanishing without trace overnight. Malthus was murdered by our friend of the cream tarts.
Of course, Geraldine, of course.
Well, Your Highness, we must take steps to make our information known to the authorities.
You forget. We signed an oath.
Yes, but to allow this wholesale trade in murder to continue with impunity.
And profit, I dare say.
Exactly. Our duty as citizens...
Hear me, Geraldine. If your honor suffers in any of the adventures into which you follow me, not only will I never pardon you, but, and this I believe will affect you much more sensibly, I should never forgive myself.
I receive Your Highness's commands, but...
But, Geraldine, but... You will perceive that I have repeated my disguise. My purpose must be abundantly clear to you.
Your Highness cannot mean to return to that accursed place. The duties of your high office must forbid the repetition of such a hazard.
Hazard? The ace of spades holds no terror for me.
And the ace of clubs? Would your Highness take my life? Oh, it is his freely, of course.
Very well,
but,
Geraldine, I take your point. You shall not accompany me to the club.
It is not for me that I'm afraid, your Highness, believe me.
Hear me, Geraldine. Am I to cease to interest myself in the fortunes of that young man who supped with us and who is now a common murderer, with the guilt of blood on his soul? Can I begin an adventure so entrancing and not carry it through to the very end?
Your Highness.
Tonight, once more, I take my place at the table of the Suicide Club.
Hey, I never fear. Come on, Rouge, very fast.
Good evening, Mr. Goodley. I'm delighted to see you have not delayed your return.
Madame, I believe I must congratulate you on your organization.
Indeed.
On the punctual demise of Sir Montague Malthus. I like to meet with capacity and certainly find it in your president.
Poor Malthy. The club will not seem the same without his presence. I shall miss him. Most of our patrons are not much company for me.
I would not have thought, madame, that a woman of your wit and beauty should want for desirable company.
The kind of company I desire in my heart of hearts may surprise you agreeably, sir.
Indeed?
Perhaps we might continue this discourse in more agreeable circumstances.
Yes. Where?
Downstairs in the roulette room, perhaps, or over dinner in some chambre séparée.
My dear lady, charmed and flattered as I am by your venturesome offer, I must point out to you that what has brought me to this place is the sad fact that I am tired of this life and wish to put an end to it. Even the prospect of fine food and amorous dalliance lamentably failed to overcome my appetite for death. Besides, I am bound by the rules of the club, am I not? I wish you an agreeable evening.
Good evening, Mr. Goodley. Major Hammersmith is not in your company.
So it would appear, unless he has discovered the enviable alchemy of making himself invisible.
A jest, amusing. I stand corrected, sir.
It was not my intention to correct a man of your caliber, Mr. President.
Then you will forgive me for pointing out, sir, that if your friend fails to appear for tonight's game, he will be in serious default of the club's rule.
To which he has signed an oath of allegiance.
Precisely.
Well, since I have no reason to doubt the Major's sense of honor, I must assume that he will be here in good time to play, Mr. President.
I do hope so, Mr. Goodley. I do hope so.
Ah, my friend. Unhappy here?
Oh, Mr. Goodley.
You have regrets?
Regrets? Sit down. I did not wish to be overheard.
Continue.
Oh, I wish I never brought you to this infamous abode. I implore you and the Major Hammersmith to leave.
Leave, my friend?
While you're still alive and clean-handed.
You must drink a glass of champagne, my friend. I admired you more in the devil-may-care role you chose to play when we first met.
Once you've taken another's life, you could never be the same man.
You played the rules, sir.
Help me.
To help you, Mr. Morris, I may first require your assistance.
Anything.
Much as I admire your talents, my dear, I never imagined that you would succeed with Mr. Goodley.
He has not come here for the simple pleasures.
Exactly. And his colleague has not appeared at all.
There is still time.
I hardly think so. Nor do I propose to gamble my future on his possible harmlessness. I have already ascertained that no such person as Theophilus Goodley resides at the address he gave me.
see.
We know our enemy. Start the game, my dear. Start the game.
The table! Wish me.
It is bad luck to wish one another good fortune before the commencement of a game of cards.
No, I mean, wish me.
Come along, my friend. Our honor demands it.
Wish me the ace of spades.
Attention, gentlemen. I see, sir, that your friend has, after all, decided to defy the rules of the club.
Then you must deal with him as you see fit, sir.
Start! Start the game!
Pray contain your enthusiasm, Mr. Morris. Gentlemen, since one of our members has seen fit to amend the rules of the club to the demands of his own convenience, I propose to follow his example.
In what way?
Tonight, gentlemen, to complete our circle, since one of our members has failed to appear, and to add some spice to the proceedings, I shall include my own person in the deal.
Capital.
Thank you, sir. Yes, gentlemen, tonight I shall take the same chance in fortune as your good selves.
Now for his victim.
Shall we continue?
My God. And it was I who...
Fate has chosen you and me as tonight's adversaries.
Fate has chosen nobly.
Mr. Goodley, what can I say?
Say nothing, sir, for nothing need be said.
I would give $1 million if I had it for your luck.
I dare say you would have sold the opportunity for a much more moderate sum if you had it. You will receive your instructions.
Instructions?
Good night, sir.
You need not delay your departure, sir. This way, if you please. You feel a little sickly, perhaps? Most gentlemen do at this juncture of their affairs. Will you take a little brandy?
If you will join me, sir.
Oh, have no fear, sir. Our arrangements will be carried out punctiliously.
What are my directions?
You will proceed along the Strand in the direction of the city. On your left-hand side, you will come to the passage known as Cobbler's Court. You will proceed down that alley, and there you will meet the gentleman who has been vested with the club's executive authority.
Yourself, in other words.
On the left-hand side, the fourth turn is Cobbler's Court.
You are most precise.
Oh, believe me, sir, I'm only happy to be able to render you this trifling service personally. At least you cannot complain of delay. On your second visit, an extraordinary stroke of luck.
I am well aware of my good fortune.
Poor old Malthus. He drank near upon a pint, and little enough good it seemed to do him.
You'll find me more amenable to treatment, sir. Until we meet again.
I wish you a pleasant walk, sir.
Safe, Your Highness, safe.
Geraldine! Oh, you have saved me against my explicit orders.
Your Highness pardons my zeal.
I should be unworthy of my rank if I did not.
Thank you, Your Highness.
I fear it is I who must thank you, Geraldine.
You can thank me affectionately enough by avoiding such dangers in the future, Your Highness.
How can that be? Our mutiny against the club and its nefarious president is now in the open.
True, he will not let matters rest there.
Exactly.
Well, perhaps a short trip to Monte Carlo, Your Highness.
Nonsense, Geraldine. You see, I will not let the matter rest there either.
One of us must die.
Tell your man to drive faster.
My dear friend, forgive me for speaking openly, but your restlessness disturbs my flow of thought.
But Your Highness is under sentence of death.
No. Theophilus Goodley is under sentence of death and he no longer exists. But I dare say the president has made some inquiries and decided that he is dealing with men of honor. Someone will have to meet his challenge.
Your Highness, we must seek help.
It goes without saying that our oath forbids all recourse to the law.
May I inquire Your Highness's intentions?
It is decided. There is but one honorable way. The president must fall in a duel. Strawberries, Geraldine?
And his adversary?
Oh, myself, of course.
Yes, I expected no other decision, Your Highness. I fear, however...
You fear that, my dear friend. Nothing will be gained by permitting this tiresome confusion to our minds. I do not intend to alter my plans by one breath. I shall approach the president without my disguise. That is to say, I shall honor the club with the presence of Prince Florizel of Bohemia. All cards will be on the table.
I still feel we may have undervalued our opponent's resourcefulness.
Then we must act, my friend, must we not?
Act, but how?
My dear friend, the notion is beginning to urge itself into my mind that you have not a moment to lose. Give Morris his instructions. Inform him that he will remain under my personal protection and arrange for some trustworthy seconds. I do not know where you will find these, but I am sure that in one or two of your military clubs you may find.
Here you are, sir.
Yeah? Where?
Your destination, sir.
I seem to recall, my good man, that my destination was Half Moon Street.
Yes, sir, the Cheston Club, sir. But I imagine you'll find your needs more readily satisfied here, sir.
What? Look, I would have suspected that the choice of where to spend the evening would ultimately rest with me.
Oh, a choice, yes, but I'm sure a gentleman of your figure would welcome an unexpected change of venue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Am I to be turned out into the street by you? This obscure and undistinguished courtyard. Where the deuce am I?
There are festivities going on inside that house, sir. The fact is, I was hired to kidnap venturesome young gentlemen in evening dress.
Hardly a common way of collecting guests.
No, sir.
I dare say, however, that an eccentric host might indulge in such a whim without intention to offend.
You've only to go in, sir, and say that Mr. Morris sent you.
You, perchance, this Mr. Morris?
No, sir. Mr. Morris is a young gentleman addicted to the consumption of pastry.
I see. And if I refuse this sweet-toothed gentleman's invitation, what then?
I shall drive you back from where I took you from and set out to look for others. Those without a fancy for adventure are not the guests for Mr. Morris.
Then you found your man. Well, I have such a fancy. I shall accept.
Fare's been paid, sir. I wish you an eventful good night.
All right.
Lieutenant Brackenbury Rich, Your Highness. A gallant veteran of the Indian Wars. His antecedents are impeccable.
Capital, Geraldine, capital. You may carry on with your task. Extraordinary.
Wait, monsieur, monsieur. Rien ne va plus.
I see. I'm in a private gambling saloon, and the cabman was a tout.
Lieutenant Rich?
Sir, you know me.
Your host.
Mr. Morris. Delighted, sir.
I've heard of you, Lieutenant, and I'm gratified to make your acquaintance.
Ah.
Your looks accord with the reputation that has preceded you from India, Lieutenant. Would you take some refreshment?
With the greatest pleasure, sir.
Monsieur.
To meet you is not only a genuine pleasure, but an honor, sir. A man who makes a single mouthful of a horde of barbarian cavaliers shall not be too appalled by a trend of etiquette such as this.
Upon my word, sir, I do not doubt that this must be one of the most agreeable societies in all London, what? Champagne is excellent.
You will excuse me, Lieutenant. I must acquaint myself with my other guests.
My dear fellow.
Rien ne va plus, monsieur.
You're in charge here, madam?
I beg your pardon.
The ladies upstairs?
Little ladies.
Oh, come now, let's not have all this fiddle-faddle. I know my way around this town, madam. But I must admit, this place is new to me. Any exotics in your collection? Off-whites? My fancy runs that way.
I must beg your indulgence, sir, but you are laboring under a misapprehension.
Nonsense. Bring on the little ladies, I say. You're one of them. Is that it?
My dear sir, In a place so large as London, misunderstandings most continually happen.
Misunderstandings?
I fear you have been misled.
Fiddle faddle. What, you keep the girls under lock and key, what? Discretion? Well, the type was a trifle mysterious, I
To
admit,
speak
but
quite openly, sir, you have honored my poor house by inadvertence. Under whose roof do you suppose yourself to be?
Why, that of Mr. Morris, couldn't you run out?
Yes, I am Morris. This way, Major. The Major is here by my personal invitation.
I see.
To gamble. This way, Major.
Extraordinary woman. Seemed to think herself too good for the place.
It was unfortunate that you had to encounter her so soon.
Unfortunate? Isn't she a member of this establishment?
Make yourself at home, Major. You will receive your instructions shortly.
Instructions? What instructions? I'm here to enjoy myself, old boy.
Quite.
Good God. Lieutenant Rich. I'm Major O'Rourke. I've heard much of you of late and cannot doubt but you've also heard of me.
Who has not, sir? Delighted.
My pleasure entirely. Extraordinary kind of place, what?
Is it?
Zero, monsieur.
Do excuse me, I do believe I've won.
I see.
And Morris is in league with them, I tell you.
Prepare the table, my dear.
Look, you must act
Prepare the table. Meanwhile, I must prepare for the disposal of our uninvited guests.
What will you do?
I was thinking of our emergency method.
It's not very lively.
It was your miss.
No, the agency is doing quite well.
It was you.
Venture my luck a little further.
It was you.
Black.
My word, all of it.
Ja, number blue.
On my soul.
You are rouge.
My word, you've lost it all.
Black.
You're a braver man than I, sir.
Have you observed that the guests are thinning out?
Well, they may have shared your ill fortune.
Really? I also observe that our host is redoubling his agreeable attentions to those few of us who still remain.
Yes? Charming man, Morris.
Know him?
Never met him before in my life, sir. You?
Never. Oh, bother.
Deuce take it, Rich. They're closing down the entire house. Even the servants are dispersing. You know, this establishment is a sham, sir.
Rather like the end of a county ball, what?
This is no county ball, Rich. Nor, as I was led to believe, is it some bordello.
Clearly not.
And what is it? Rich, where the deuce are we?
Gentlemen, the time has come for me to explain my purpose in decoying you to this establishment. My object, I confess, was not to entertain your leisure, but to help myself in an unfortunate necessity. You are all gentlemen, and I ask for no better security. I now ask you to render me a hazardous and delicate service.
Before you continue, sir, who are you?
Call me, if you please, Hammersmith.
That is your name, then, Hammersmith?
It is not, sir.
I see.
It would be impossible to exaggerate the gravity of my proposal. Let me therefore add that if there be any among you who recoil from my methods, I shall now wish him good night and Godspeed.
Well, speaking for myself, I commend your frankness. I observe that your accent is that of a military man. What puzzles me is that I also recognize you as the cabby who conveyed me here.
Ah, correct, Major. We must trust one another, must we not?
Well, you have earned that trust, sir, by your audacity.
I return the compliment. I have studied the way you have played and how you bore your losses. I have put you to the test of an unnerving announcement, and you have received it like an invitation to dinner. Here is my plan.
And there's our host.
Our Confederate, Lieutenant Rich. May I proceed?
No!
What?
The President will be among us shortly to commence play. Gentlemen, please take your seats.
There will be no play tonight, madame.
By whose command?
By mine. Permit me to introduce my person, Prince Florizel of Bohemia. Misguided fools, you may all consider yourselves in my protective custody.
Control yourself, man.
For my part, I now feel that I've served this particular cause well enough already. I've decided that I wish to live and have done with this whole affair. I suggest that we all go homeward in a body. What say you?
You are all at liberty, gentlemen.
Deplorable conduct.
White feather, Rich. You white feather.
I now see that I've chosen my men like Joshua in the Bible. In you, gentlemen, I honestly believe I have the pick of London.
At the affair of Bundajang, sir, I asked for 12 volunteers, and every trooper in the ranks replied to my appeal.
Oh, how did the affair at Bundachang turn out?
Killed to a man, sir, all 12 of them. As for your departed guests, sir, I count them among the most pitiful hounds I've ever had the misfortune to encounter.
Here, here.
You're not leaving us, Mr. Morris?
I was intending to return later, sir.
You have broken your word, sir. I'm disappointed in you.
What do you intend to do with me?
Need I answer that question?
And need I remind you, sir, that the ace of spades has not yet been dealt to me?
You have not played the club's rules, sir. Why should I be bound by them? Kindly lead the way.
Upstairs.
Proceed, sir.
Gentlemen, for some years I have been both pupil and companion to the bravest and wisest potentate in all Europe.
On my soul.
You will fancy my situation when I tell you that this diamond of the nobility is at present engaged upon a matter concerning private justice, bound by an unhappy oath. He has found it necessary, without engaging the help of the law, to rid our world of an insidious and bloody villain.
His crime, may one inquire?
Murder.
What now?
Go through that door.
Make good your escape. Wait. I believe I know what it is that you'll keep behind that door.
I repeat, make good your escape.
There is no escape!
Escape is what I offered poor Malthus before I sent him to meet his maker. Or to be more accurate, to meet you, Mr. Morris, his executioner. Go.
No! I implore you! Mercy!
I shall be merciful.
How?
By not prolonging your torture. Look!
No!
Then I may count on you.
In all my life, sir, I never took back my hand from anything, nor so much as hedged a bet.
I am similarly disposed.
Good.
From his wisdom alone, if he had no other title. My friend is a man whose instructions should be followed implicitly.
Is it a duel, then?
A duel with the most dangerous enemy you can imagine. Take the sword case, Lieutenant Rich. And now, follow me.
You will regret this bitterly, sir, and very soon.
There I believe you are mistaken, madame.
The president is not without resources.
Nor, I venture to say, am I, madame.
There, the president.
Then welcome him. Welcome your master. Is the grave dug?
It is, Your Highness, behind a laurel tree in the courtyard.
I knew I might count on your exactitude.
On my devotion.
And now present your friends to me.
Brackenbury Rich, Her Majesty's Highland Hussars.
O'Rourke, Cavalry Brigade.
Gentlemen, I am very grateful for your assistance in this matter. And now, madame, kindly inform the president that tonight's game will not take place.
My loyalty, Your Highness, is indivisible, I'm afraid.
My respects, madame. Where is Morris?
It would appear that the purposes for which Mr. Morris joined this establishment have been achieved.
So be it.
Your Highness.
You know me, then?
Well, to seek two men in London unacquainted with Prince Florizel of Bohemia is to ask too much at fortune's hands, Your Highness.
It is ungracious to inaugurate an acquaintance upon serious affairs, but the compulsion of events is stronger than obligations of good fellowship.
May I permit myself one question, Your Highness? Is one of us meant to participate in this duel, or have we the honor to be your seconds?
Good evening, Mr. President. Allow me to present my person, Prince Florizel of Bohemia. You may perhaps notice a slight resemblance to a certain Theophilus Goodley, Major O'Rourke, Lieutenant Rich.
This is an outrage. This is my house. Where are my servants?
In my protective custody, sir, as are all the members of your organization, including your female accomplice.
My wife, sir.
My apologies, madame. And now, sir, kneel. And pray if you have a mind that way.
How dare your minions lay their hands on me?
God is weary of your iniquity, sir, and so am I. Let it not be said that I do not preserve all forms of honor, even in executing a murderer. To give this rogue, however, a choice of weapons might push a point of etiquette too far. Do you not agree?
Quite agree.
Since I cannot afford to lose my life in such a business, and the pistol bullet travels occasionally on the wings of chance, I have decided to settle our account by means of the sword.
Admirable.
No.
Quick, sir. Choose a blade. I have an impatience to be done with you.
I have no seconds present.
Major O'Rourke, let me commend the president to your good graces. Lieutenant Rich will offer me his assistance.
I shall know how to prize the honor, Your Highness.
So it's to be a stand-up fight, then, just between you and me.
I mean so to honor you.
If justice be done, Mr. President, you will at least be gratified in the knowledge that you die by the hand of one of the most gallant gentlemen in all Europe.
In a fair field, who knows what may happen. Remember, you drew the ace of spades. The cards may have spoken for your destiny, Your Highness.
It is but a farce, gentlemen. One that I assure you we will not be long in playing.
Your Highness should be careful not to overreach yourself.
Madame, this is not for your eyes. I choose to leave these prisoners in your care. Pray for your husband's immortal soul, and prepare for the end of an unhappy bondage to a villain.
It is done. And yet, my friend, I ask myself, the ill he did, who can undo it? Is there anything in life more disenchanting than attainment?
No matter.
You had no right. No right.
Come, gentlemen, I wish to rest.
The woman, Your Highness. She threatened your life. The authorities.
No, Geraldine. Let her go in peace. As for the foolish and wicked men whose lives your husband has subjected to such unnatural stresses, tell them they may regard themselves freed from their loathsome oaths. Congratulate them, madame, on being more fortunate than their former associates, and tell them, please, that if they have been driven into their desperation by lack of funds, I, Prince Florizel of Bohemia, have decided to offer them remuneration from my private estates. May I add one more thing? I have no wish to punish you for the crimes committed by your husband. Should you nonetheless be suffering from an overwhelming sense of guilt, madame, I would advise you to seek charity from a higher and more absolute potentate than I. Madame, you may kiss my hand.
What true nobility.
Alas, O Rook, we shall not know his like again.